Wow. Distinguished guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride that I welcome each and every member of this eminent gathering to the 7th Annual Forevermark Forum in this erudite, charming, and historic capital city of New Delhi. I'm gratified to see our esteemed partners in the audience, and I thank you all for giving us the most precious possession of yours, and that is your time. For all of us at De Beers, we value your commitment, and your presence means a lot to us. And whilst you have given your time to us, I urge all of you to craft your own path into this future, a future that's widely unknown, a future that's almost merging into the present. Your continued presence also validates the fact that the Forevermark Forum is an important industry platform where we exchange ideas, disseminate information, and highlights the faith in the power of dialogue and the strength that we have as a community. Over the years, we've made the forum as a truly knowledge share platform. I urge all of you to carve out this path, and I'm certain that this time together will be stimulating, will be enriching, and fun-filled. This year, we have over 500 participants representing 250 organizations from all over the world. Please join me in welcoming our growing partners from almost every part of India, our esteemed partners from Middle East, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, our partners from Canada and Belgium. I also extend this courtesy to our senior members who've joined us from United Kingdom, China, Botswana, Singapore, and various other parts of India. This is a sign that the forum has truly become a global platform. As the gems and jewelry business, we are a community, and that's our biggest strength. You know, I know of none other industry where at times we chase the same consumer, but at times, you know, we're sort of so unified in our approach on the common friendship we have and the common camaraderie we have. This is unique. You know, at times we stand for one another's common interference. And my heart swells with pride to be a part of this magnanimous world. It is important for us to also remind ourselves as to what is our business. And I'll ask you by a question, what does your business sell? G2H color, VVS to SI clarity, 4-grainers, fancy shapes, fancy sizes? For some of you, the answer might be all of the above. But in a very important sense, the answer would be none of the above. Because in the diamond business, we don't sell crystallized carbon. We sell love, meaning, and emotion, and the diamonds that have an innate value to our consumers. And as diamond people, we are lucky to represent these miraculous gifts of Mother Nature. You know, all that we do, mining, sorting, cutting, polishing, designing, retailing, all of this directs to the most important moment, and that is when a father walks into your store looking to buy a pair of diamond bangles for his only daughter's wedding, or when a young couple walks into your store looking to buy a diamond engagement ring to celebrate the love forever. You know, that moment is special, and that's the reason we're here, we want to get better at. I urge all of you need to feel joyful of what you enable. You know, you enable that smile, you enable that heart-touching feeling, and through you, right now, at this very moment, someone is building the history and someone is experiencing the most memorable occasion of their lifetime. And based on knowing why we sell and what we do, it's important to be mindful of our journey in this fast-paced world where the future is almost merging with the present. Fittingly, the theme for this year's forum is, "The future is now." What do these words mean? And why are these the most fundamental in today's time period? You know, they say what's gotten you here is not going to get you there. And if you stay stationary, life will pull you back. The concept of the future is beautifully explained in our Sanskrit Vedas. They say that human beings are the only beings on planet Earth who can imagine a future, can imagine a tomorrow. The word bhavishya is made up of two words, bhavya and isha. Bhavya means kal, tomorrow, and isha means aapke man ka, what your heart desires. And I urge all of you that you have the innate capacity and capability to envisage your own future. I encourage all of you to do that. The more you make this future clear and certain, the more the future will be clear and certain. The format of this year's forum is also encourage you to craft out this future. You see this road, which currently will represent the milestones we achieved as an industry, as De Beers, as Forevermark, your organizations, but I urge all of you to craft your own future and put on these milestones that will be your milestones. For a minute, I urge all of you to imagine that today is 9th of July 2021, and you're sitting together with the editor of Economic Times, and she asks you a question. She says, "So what a phenomenal journey you've had in the last few years. Can you share with me your milestones?" And I urge all of you to decide what your milestones will be and what your achievements will be in this coming time. She asks you yet another question. She says, "So what were the key challenges and obstacles you faced to get to these milestones?" And while you think those challenges, my friends, which exist between you today and your future tomorrow, I can only tell you that they are not challenges, they are the real opportunities. Our stakeholders are going through a phenomenal pace of change. Rather, the pace of change that you are witnessing today is the slowest that you will witness for the rest of your life. I'll repeat that for you. The pace of change that you are witnessing today is the slowest that you will witness for the rest of your lives. We got to break this myth that future is out somewhere far away, because future is now, and it's dependent on the decisions you make today and impacts your life. I will talk about 5 important areas that impact this whole, or clarify why the future is now, and we as India and we as Indians are getting into this very, very important phase in our lives. Let's understand what's happening in the economic climate. It's like this, that while you're growing a tree, you got to know what's happening in the forest. We all agree that the time for us is now in India. India is at the global footprint. The whole world is looking at us. But do we really believe in our hearts that we are a part of it? Perhaps not. And the Davos report, the World Bank report, the Economic Summit, the United Nations, everybody has predicted that India will be a 5 trillion economy by 2025. And if we do so, we will be a 10 trillion economy by 2030. Mind you guys, today we are a 2.3 trillion economy. This is a very important phase in the life of India and the life of Indians. And this occurs once in nations, once in perhaps 100 years. Happened in China in the early 2000s. Today they are at 11 trillion economy. The time for us is now. If not now, then when? And if not us, then who? We at De Beers are very optimistic about the future of the diamond business, and we believe that the diamond business will multiply at least 2 times in the next 5 years. But the challenge again is that a whole lot of us will make changes and accept this future and seize this opportunity, whereas a whole lot of us will pass this time, get this opportunity pass away in front of our own eyes. And connected to this point is ethics. The new India, with this new energy and this new drive and positivity and conviction, will be a phase where ethical operations are non-negotiable. We have to clear that in our mind. We have seen in the light of the recent scams that hit our industry, and all of us had raised eyebrows towards the industry, and the amount of negative publicity we received is unprecedented. The world is connected, and reputational losses will be fast, and reputational losses will be irrecoverable. And I'd like to toss a legal terminology, and terminology of being a trustee. And I think every leader sitting in this room is the trustee of the diamond business. Every leader sitting in this room is a trustee of the family legacy we hold. And we are the trustees of the trust the consumer bestows on us. And that leads me to the next point, which is on family-run business. I mean, 90% of my audience sitting here represent family businesses. And I want to sort of clear this myth, which we have, that family business means small business. The biggest organizations that you see here, Hermes, Toyota, you have New York Times, you have Walmart, these all humongous organizations are family-owned and family-run. But importantly, you as a leader of your family business have a very important role to play. And the role has to be done today and not in the future. There are issues that happen between family members. Envisage them today. You have to have your succession plans in place today. You have to carve out the path that merges with professionals today. But the most important thing that you have to do as a family leader of your family business is really to define the purpose of your organization, allow your organization and your family members towards that purpose, and go forward into the future. But again, something that has to be done today and not somewhere in the future. The third point I want to talk about is technology. And you see, when we talk about future, there is no discussion possible today if we don't reflect about what's happening in the world of technology. Technology is impacting every facet of life. There's so many changes that are happening in biology, medical science, food, transportation, every facet of society. Robotics will become a part of our domestic work very soon. I used to imagine, my friends, that this concept of the driverless cars is far away somewhere in the future. 5 years, 10 years, who knows when. I was in New York City 3 weeks ago, and I experienced the Tesla X. And believe me, guys, when I put the address on where I wanted to go in New York City, in Manhattan, which is very busy, that car drove me to that address, found a parking spot, and parked the car on its own without me touching the steering or the pedal. I mean, this is real. And the weird thing is that I was uncomfortable only for the first 5 minutes. We all will get used to this. And the day is not far that we will say, hey, Google car, please drop my son to school. And all of this is impacting us. But there's also a dark side to us, to all of this, and we have to take cognizance as to where to stop. But that's a very different debate and a much deeper debate. However, we cannot ignore the fact that these changes of technology are real and they're coming fast across all our lives. Our industry too has to be open to this change. There will be robotics that will be playing up in mining. 3D printing will come in manufacturing, new ways of cutting and polishing diamonds, augmented reality on retail. But the real challenge or the real task for the leaders sitting in this room is that whether we will accept or embrace technology with open arms, or we will still struggle when it actually hits us. We say, hey, my God, what's happened? And the world is tough. So the thing to be done is really today. And that leads me to my fourth point, and that's on disruption. We need to be ahead in the curve of anticipating consumers' need before the consumers need it. There are ecosystems that are getting set up. About Uber being the largest transportation company in the world with no cars of their own. Facebook, the largest media company in the world with no content of its own. You have Airbnb, the largest hotelier in the world with no real estate of its own. Alibaba, which says the largest trading company in the world with no inventory of its own. There are big disruptions happening in the cinema business. There are humongous disruptions that are lined up in the education business because all of us will be constant education learners. Now, how do we, as an industry, deal with this changing reality and this whole disruption world? First of all, there is no negotiation on how we have to really embrace technology. We have to be open about doing things in the new way. We have to give a new meaning to what collaborations mean. And we don't need to be expert in everything we do, but collaborations have to be redefined. And if there's one thing that I urge my entire audience to erase from their memory, is the conviction that you have that all that has worked in the past is the only way to work in the future, because, my friends, that's not going to work in the future, and certainly not in this whole disruptive era. And that leads me to the last point that I have for today, which is sustainability and the impact that we have on environment. Let's accept it. We've taken more from Mother Earth than we've given it back. That's the reality. And I was a part of this conference where they showed, the lady from United Nations was representing, and she showed this picture of planet Earth, which has this blue dot, and that blue dot is the only amount of fresh drinking water that's left. By 2030, there'll be water crisis, and she envisaged that by 2050, 1/3 of the world's population will have to physically move. That's the sort of large impact. There are bigger issues that are happening around global warming and seawater rising and so on and so forth, but we need to accept all of these as our own responsibilities as leaders in the business. Today, I want to talk about one of the issues that impacts more to us as an organization, to us as an industry. We say diamonds do good, and we refer to about safety, community, health, and all of those areas, but there's one area that De Beers have taken cognizance of, and that is the gender equality. Gender equality refers to equal rights, equal opportunities to men and women without they being born male or female. We say 90% of our diamonds are consumed by women, but when you look at the workforces, it's a completely different situation. And we, as the leaders of particularly our Indian manufacturing business, our Indian retailing business, have to take a cognizance. Status quo is not an option. We have to take control of all of this. And you see, it's not just that these things are the right things to do. Increasingly, consumers are getting more and more inclined towards organizations and brands that are responsible towards environment, responsible towards communities. And moving forward, let me share with you what's the vision of De Beers and how are we dealing on, and how are we redefining and saying that the future is really now. We are embracing the whole world of technology, the whole world of disruption, sustainability, and there are a variety of projects that are coming up, including blockchain, light blocks. We have a carbon absorption project, omni-channel, marine mining innovation, the new ways to mine diamonds, and new retail formats. And all of these will be shared with you in the next session. But clearly, we are certain that of the positive growth that is envisaged in the Indian subcontinent, and we believe fundamentally that Indian subcontinent will be the growth driver of the diamond business in the coming time. A diamond is forever is not just a tagline for us at De Beers. It holds a fundamental truth that diamonds have been around forever and ever, and they do represent long-term relationships. But ironically, in this whole era of disruption, technological change, and impacts on synthetics and so on and so forth, the fundamental need and desire to express love will be there. And hence, the fundamental need and desire for diamonds is still going to be there. Yes, there'll be changes. The modus operandi will change. Technology will change. Consumers' understanding and the way we get to them will change. Designs will change. And that's where all of us have to collaborate and unlock this value into the future. Going back in time when we conceptualized Forevermark, we knew there are issues about consumer confidence. We knew synthetics would become a large play. But we also knew that not just diamonds, but brands and stronger collaborations will be the answer to this future. And for us, my friends, when we conceptualized Forevermark, Forevermark was designed to be a catalyst of your business, a catalyst to get to your future that you ride into these milestones much quicker, faster, and more certain. Now, I'd like to show you a video which encapsulates all that we have achieved together in the last 1 year. Can I please have the video?
Forevermark signifies beautiful jewelry, and I think they sort of embody the modern Indian woman and what she stands for really, really well.
Looking at tonight, we have created a very special evening where spectacular jewelry pieces crafted in very fine Forevermark diamonds will be adorned by who I call us stalwarts in the society. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to all of you because what you achieved is what really we achieved. Mr. Stephen Lucier is a Chief Executive Officer of the Forevermark Global. He's somebody who a lot of you are familiar with. He's our leader. He's someone who's led Forevermark to become one of the fastest growing phenomena in the global diamond business. And also Stephen is very uniquely placed to address the subject of the future is now. He's been in the business for over 3 decades. He went and he shared with me that when he launched the China market and he went to Shanghai and he took the taxi from the Shanghai airport to go to the city, the road was getting built by a bullock cart. I mean, and today when we look at Shanghai, you know, that image even doesn't sort of transcend to my mind. So it's my honor to have Stephen here. He's also the chairman of the Diamond Producers Association and the executive committee member of the De Beers Group. Stephen, welcome to the stage. Please join me in giving a hand. So moving further, what's been our global journey? You know, we talked about this whole concept that really from germinating into somebody's mind to bringing in $2 billion of consumer money onto your table. And Stephen talked about a journey which globally has been for 10 years. For India, it's been about 7 years. We are in 26 countries. We're touching 2,300 doors. And just in the aim of getting to about 3 million diamonds this year. From the Indian office, we run the Indian market. We run the Middle Eastern market. We opened our markets Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Nepal. And the India story has been very exciting for us. We are today in 250 doors. We have close to 100 partners who we operate with. We work in 52 cities. But very importantly, the volume that's grown and what we've achieved is really what you have achieved. So 250,000 diamonds and 75,000 carats is what we end this year with. And very importantly, this is a very important submission for me, that while I'm encouraging all of you to define your own future and put your milestones here, this is what we are envisaging as our future in the Indian market. We believe that our business will double in the next 2 years. We are looking at 500,000 diamonds. We are looking at 150,000 carats to be done by 2020. But importantly, it's very important to realize that when the market is growing at the pace of 15 to 20% growth, we can all have variance. Our objective is to grow double, and our objective is to grow double with each and every one of you and be that catalyst to get to your future. So, and we intend to be a 20% market share by 2020, and that's really what our aim is, and that's how we define our future in India. Now, physicality for us in India, in De Beers, is extremely important. Going back in time, about 7 years back, when I approached all of you for Forevermark, we asked you for a meter, 2 meters, or small presence of the space within your stores. I want to give a big thanks to all of my partners. Today we have over 140 shop-in-shops. These are dedicated areas of the brand in your own stores. And that's the most precious retail space that you have given to us. We're also very proud to share with you that we opened our second store in India, which is with our esteemed partners, Indian Gems and Jewelry Creation in Calcutta. Our first store last year was opened with CKC in Bangalore. And this is just the start of an era where we're offering a solution where a younger consumer in a more mall environment is getting attuned to. So these are just the representation, and more of these coming up. We have planned to open 3 more in the year 2018, my friends. Now, we all say that millennials aren't connecting to our brands, they aren't connecting to diamonds and jewelry, and there's a whole discussion and debate around it. And whilst we have to change the way we communicate, there's also a tremendous amount of technology that we have to talk to them on. And not technology just for the heck of being technological, but also the lives they live, the way they're living in. And our China team has put together one of the first projects that we launched in Shanghai called Libertime, and the technology will be seeping into India. We'll be using it and implementing in our stores and also other stores. So I'd like to show you a short video which sort of gives you a sense of how we intend to use retail and technology absolutely synced in together. Can I please have the video? all of this technology that you see, thank you, all of this technology is real, it's going to be implementing our stores, and as leaders, we got to take cognizance and introduce them into our stores. Moving ahead, it's important for me to make you understand as to what is the merchandise of Forevermark and what is the strategy. You know, we are not a Rolex which says, here's my product, stock it up, so many pieces, and that's the retail price, that's your margin. For us, it's important to understand that we intend to sort of look at your consumers in your way. So there are really broad 4 areas. Number 1 are big ideas, which are designs that are owned and we give you the license to sell them. And these are normally based on emotional connect to the consumer. That's what we call as big ideas. We have humongous array of manufacturers collections that we work with our partners. A lot of our partners are here on display. And on the floor right now are over 5,000 designs to choose from. And these are not just designs made and given to you. Designs are backed by merchandising, by training, all the other elements for you get real, complete solutions. We also have, as a role of an ingredient brand, we look at classical line of products like bangles, necklines, and all of these area of products. Last year we had our campaign, which was Circle of Trust, again highlighting the role of the ingredient brand. And lastly, we want to celebrate what you guys create. We believe you are creators, you have that capability, and put that up on retailer-specific collections. And compare this to a generic, we ensure that there are better stock turns, there are more upselling opportunities, and most importantly, we back every single Forevermark diamond with constant marketing support. Now, when we say co-op campaigns, we had over 30 co-op campaigns last year with all of you, all our partners. And essentially, again, co-op campaigns are developed to sort of celebrate your creativity, your area of focus, what you want to talk to your consumer on. And there are over 30 of these that we had. Just a small representation is out there. But we want to urge to work with you in your way, with your consumer, and not just a global brand that says that's the only way to do it. For us, we've already acknowledged our sales ambassadors, but very important for us is to train our people so they're in tune with telling the whole story to the consumer in the correct manner. Last year itself, we trained over 5,000 sales ambassadors at your floors. And these are people who really do this last mile very well. 5,000 of these people, in forms of morning trainings, we do monthly trainings, we do zonal trainings, and there's a whole era of this e-learning platforms that are getting launched today, and I urge all of you to please have a look at it. We have a monthly newsletter called In the Loop, and that's becoming more and more popular. We print over 5,000 copies every month on it, and the section, Ask Lina, is getting the most popularity over the period of time. Now, when you look at marketing, all the essential things that we do every year are based on consumer insights, and that's directional in nature. That gives a direction of where not just we as a brand got to go, but how the industry's got to go. Last year, we launched our credentials campaign, which gave out the whole essence of why a Forevermark diamond is differentiated and why you as a Forevermark retailer is differentiated. This campaign was the biggest campaign yet. We had 25,000 spots on television. We had over 1,000 press ads in the front pages. A very important one, but with our objective to be known as a diamond expert, and we've just started the journey. You see reflection of credentials almost on every campaign that's lined up ahead of us. We also picked up as an ingredient role. We looked at South India as a market, and we picked up the close setting products that is very popular. Again, a twist that we gave to the whole communication was a modern context to this very, very classical product, a very popular product. And again, very successful. We started with print and digital, and this year we'll be pushing it further into television and other forms as well. Now, we work with Millward Brown, which is a global agency that tracks our brand health. And we compare this to what's happening with brands and consumers' mind on a global level and also on India level. Over the last few years, we've seen our brand awareness that's been progressing. We have a certain kind of brand architecture, and I would encourage all of you to engage with the marketing team to understand details and see how your brands are playing out. But very importantly, with the objective of being known as a diamond expert, our consideration is grown up dramatically. And that's the most important area that we want to focus on. And that's what brings in collaboration, where you are the best known retailer, but you're also offering something that through an expert or the best ingredient into your jewelry. Moving ahead, red carpet has arguably become one of the most popular milestones in our annual calendar. The BAFTAs, Oscars, Grammys, these are all cinematic ceremonies that have captivated the global audience. All our partners sitting here, they pushed the boundaries of creativity. It gives me great pride to share with you that this year itself, 27 of the pieces that you all created were adorned at these platforms, and that gives me a lot of pride. We also are a brand very clearly knowing that if we do activations in Bombay City, a consumer in Amritsar has nothing to do with it. So last year, we had over 60 events across all our operating towns and cities, and we work with people who we call friends of Forevermark, and activations for us means within your store, within your town, and what we can do with you. Loads and loads of exercise opportunities and this whole new breed of social media influencers. But again, the center of all of this is your product that gets highlighted. So for us, it's any communication that goes out is a collaborative one where you get the whole thrust. Now, social media is, as Stephen has reflected upon, is a new science. We all are learning through it. We see very healthy growth on all the platforms, but very importantly, you can feel great about the kind of growth that's happening and all of that, but the way the consumers are engaging is evolving dramatically day-on-day basis. The technology with which Instagram last year introduced 5 new ways by which you could market through them, and that's been great learning. We work with the best companies globally and in India, a lot of reflections outside on the social media wall, but please learn it, let's collaborate and make it better. Very importantly, we took a project with Google. These are friends who we work very closely on search, and they came out with an artificial intelligence tool by which they could track life events of consumers. And we worked on this project with them. I'm very happy to share with you that the Forevermark India has been now shortlisted as a global case study for Google, which will be going live. And lots of learning, lots of redefinition of how search will happen. And I'll give you a short video that encapsulates how this journey was and how you can get and collaborate with us on this area of search. Can I please have the video?
Marrying Anita was the smartest thing I've done. She's my better half in every sense. And so for our 10th anniversary, I thought diamond bangles would be perfect.
Still, you can enjoy this. This is the television commercial we had for
so I did another
the
smart
credentials
thing.
campaign.
I turned to the expert.
Forevermark from
Sorry guys, last attempt. Let's do it.
At this
Millennials, micro moments, machine learning. These have been the buzzwords for any consumer-facing brand these days. The classic way of digital marketing. You segment your market based on demographics and interest, and then you create customized marketing messages for each segment. And you know what? This is a passe. Because on one side there's clutter, and on the other side there's advent of micro moment marketing.
micro moments happen when people reflexively turn to their smartphones to learn, to do, to discover, to watch, or to buy. These moments are when decisions are made and preferences are shaped. Millennials expect brands to immediately deliver exactly what they are looking for when they are looking for it. When we conceptualized our credentials campaign, we targeted varied consumers in their different life events. Getting the first bonus, proposing, celebrating a 10-year anniversary, etc. At the same time, Google had launched a powerful innovation called Life Events, which was a machine learning tool to target micro moments. This was a perfect fit for us considering the communication we developed.
We work extensively with Google to understand the behavior of a diamond consumer in the digital world, to understand who she is, what she does, what she wants, how she consumes, etc. We use this learning to roll out our different Google campaigns in SEM, display, as well as YouTube. This festive season, we worked with our agency partners to develop a life events campaign in YouTube. We targeted marriage as a life event and used our proposal ad to target the about to be married couples. The result we got were mind-blowing.
Our campaign was an instant success. We saw about 20% lift in brand awareness and 22% lift in consideration, which was best in class execution across the category as certified by Google. So much so that we were shortlisted for a global case study by Google. The campaign also helped us win a lot of accolades and awards. Via Google Analytics, we obtained rich data on digital creative development as well.
Tools like live events are extremely powerful for a category like ours, where we can reach out to consumers when they need us the most, in their micro moments. We are working with our friends at Google to pilot the next step. That is to direct the live event consumer to your store using Google Maps, thereby giving an online consumer the offline shopping experience. Stay tuned.
So I urge all of you to collaborate with our team members here to see this whole new insight, the new direction that Google is taking and leading this way. Every year at the forum, we launch a research. And this research, as I said, last year as well to this year, it gives a directional view to the business, where our business is headed. Let me ask you, what's the fastest growing economy? And my friends, it's not India, it's not China, it's not Africa or any countries there. It's the women economy. Today, the power that women hold and the access to wealth, the access to disposable income is growing dramatically. The womenomics or the economics of women is today $18 trillion. And this is growing dramatically, and importance of self-purchases coming in. And every year we bring out some directional insights. And I'd like to show you a video which gives an insight of how we all have to collaborate to make this future shape up correctly, because there are dramatic changes happening in women's lives. Can I please have the video gives this insight of womenomics?
The result from the Diamond Insight Report 2017 by the De Beers Group of companies reinforced one key aspect: the continued evolution of modern women. This means a new set of emerging challenges and opportunities for any brand. The report threw light on three key trends: increased participation of women in the economy, changing family and personal relationships, redefining femininity. Increased participation of women in the economy. It is estimated that a female-based economy is 18 trillion plus US dollars. Approximately 25% women in US and China are already earning more than their spouses. It is forecasted that more than 50% of all US households will have a woman as a major income provider by 2025. Changing family and personal relationships. Modern relationships and marriages are increasingly based on equal partnership. Diamonds are being purchased to symbolize a diverse selection of micro moments in life, rather than just relationship milestones. Redefining femininity. Women are redefining femininity away from the sweetness of previous generations to combine strength with an essential grace. Today's women associate femininity with confidence, not with sweetness. Being feminine now means confidence, independence, boldness, and determination. It does not, however, sacrifice traditional values such as caring, maternity, and patience. Diamonds are consequently becoming symbols of a wider range of emotions, including pride, joy, and achievement. Success is becoming more about who I am than what I have. The experience of buying a diamond is also becoming more important. The advent of womenomics has far-reaching effects for the diamond industry. Self-purchase is at a record high. Brands can target other moments instead of only key milestones. The rise of the mature single woman. We studied these in detail and derived 4 key insights. Women are celebrating achievements, being unique, looking for contemporary style, looking for brands with provenance.
Thank you. And my friends, it's so important to go through these elements, because when we surveyed women, 75% of women say that our communication does not represent them. We might feel great and happy about the great communication we are creating and the great model we're putting up there or the great celebrity that goes on our page, but the consumers don't relate to them. It's important to get an insight of where this future is headed. So our learning really is on these 4 pillars about celebrating achievements, being unique, contemporary styling, and also trust that brands have to give. And our entire movement from now will be on, all our campaigns are based on these 4 areas. So the first project, which is the most important, significant project that we are coming out, is a project Half Carat and a project Resize. When you look at the global diamond business, India is number 3 in terms of size. The biggest is United States, followed by China. We are the 3rd largest market. However, 75% of the value that we sell as a country is our diamonds under 8 points. And we have taken into our charge that the future is now. We will make that change. And we have to push this envelope. And hence our whole project about Half Carat diamond, we want to push this category and make an emotional connect with the consumer, put this into your stores, and all details will be available today with our partners. For everybody to participate, you need to buy 20 carats of Forevermark diamonds, so not 5,000 carats. It's 20 carats for getting a starter. Every store will get a touchpad where you can have an interface of the stock with the consumer. Every diamond of Half Carat will come with what we call a Forevermark assurance program, which is a 1-year insurance to the consumer from your store. So please get more details of this. We together have to push this envelope of the caratage and the value. It's not only about the volume we create. And this project, as I said, is a strategic in nature. It's not just about getting eyeballs. It's about driving volume, driving insights, and making meaningful sense for consumers into our category. And I'll show you a video which sort of, it's not the real TVC, it's still work in production, but give you a whole sense of how the Half Carat will be coming out in a very short span of time. Can I please have the video of the Half Carat?
Contradictions are a part of me. At times I may be hesitant and shy, but at other times I'm bold and confident. One side of me may be full of doubts, but the other side of me is totally sure about myself. I call the bold, beautiful, brilliant side of me my better half. Yes, I know that my life partner is also my better half, but this other better half is within me. It is the part of me that says, I want to do this and I will do it. My better half always cheers me on, saying, the stars are within my reach, I just need to grab them. And my better half deserves to be celebrated with nothing less than a half-carat diamond. Forevermark half-carat diamonds. Every diamond as bold, beautiful, and brilliant as my better half. And when I buy a Forevermark diamond, I know I can take certain things for granted. I know that Forevermark goes beyond the 4 seas to bring me diamonds that are amongst the world's most beautiful. Yes, I love to let my bold, beautiful, and brilliant side shine. Isn't it time you let your better half shine too? With half-carat diamonds from Forevermark. A diamond is forever.
Friends, thank you. Friends, this will be our strongest and strategic step. And I think we all discuss about how consumers are getting more inclined to buy technological products and holidays and so on and so forth. This is an area, if we collaborate, we'll get more dollars into our kitty, there'll be more value, but let's go behind this area and not leave it to natural progression. We have to take those steps moving forward. On the second pillar that we saw of being unique, Stephen reflected about how we've launched and seen success of the Tribute campaign in the United States. We are launching the Tribute collection in India this year. This is our next big idea. Again, layered and gives the contention to the consumer about doing her own style, her own uniqueness that can be represented. So this will be available with all our manufacturers here today, and you can place your orders for the upcoming season. Second step on being unique by offering very beautiful and exceptional stories to consumers is a project of exceptionals. We launched this a couple of years ago. Exceptionals are diamonds that we are tracking right from the kimberlite. Right from the kimberlite to the sorting process, who cuts and polishes it, the whole inscription number is the year we find it, weight of the rough and weight of the polish. All of this comes together in a beautiful book. I urge all of you to see the exceptional diamonds that are there on display. Again, a perfect offering for a collector and a discerning consumer. And our black label diamonds, which we launched last year, we've seen good success and good momentum. Discerning consumers love it. The best thing about the black label diamonds are that you don't need to be a diamond expert. When you look at them, they have perfect brilliance, and not just in round, in all fancy shapes diamonds as well. A hood displays here. The team is here from Canada. Please engage with us and see how you can expose this opportunity with us. On the styling, which we say about contemporary styling, and I think design is the fundamental of our business. This is what consumers come for. At times, it's almost on a daily thing that you would hear a consumer coming and asking, "Ke naya kya hai?" and what's new. And it's our role to also be a trendsetter. Consumers today are aware what's going on in the global world. They know what patterns, what palettes, how brands are shaping up. And while you might want to chase a traditional consumer, what we've done over the past 4 years is we've come out with a trend book that we come out every year, and this gives a future forecast of how trends will happen for this year. Every year we come out with 4 themes. This year our themes are Think Pink, Garden of Wonder, Time Capsule, and a Game of Shapes, which is a theme that we've done to push on this fancy shaped diamonds. And these are not just in isolation. We work with them with our manufacturer partners. As I said, over 5,000 designs that will be available on display. And I'll show you what the trends for this year are. Can I please have the video of the trends? So all these beautiful collections are available on display, and the hard work that all our manufacturer partners have done. Again, these are not just designs in isolation. They're backed with merchandising, training, and how the real story can be communicated to the consumer. Now, that leads to the last pillar that came out in the research and about trust. And the fact is that brands are vessels in which meanings are carried. Brands are vessels in which trust is carried. And for us, we have a fundamental belief that Forevermark standards are extremely consistent. Every diamond goes through a rigorous process of selectivity, so their consistency is there. And every time you give any diamond to your consumer, you can stand for the trust. We go through a black box grading in our lab, and we encourage all of you to visit our lab in Surat, which we feel very proud of. It's really a culmination of our technology and a really experienced eye of 130 years of De Beers expertise comes through. But importantly, we always debate that whether a consumer is looking for a cheap product or economical product, but I think he's only looking for value. And while you decide your future, you have to decide what you want to offer to the consumer. Just a cheap product or something that you can stand behind, and a trustworthy product that you can stand behind. And I think that's the role that we bring in as Forevermark. And I urge all of you to really, carve out in your schedules whenever you're there in Surat next time. We'll encourage you to come to our grading lab and see how all this plays together. And all of this concept of trust is, and of course, all the selection standards, my entire team from the De Beers Forevermark selection standards is here. They'll be able to share with you the deeper insights, the technical understanding, if you might want to have, of how we approach this area. But this whole concept of trust is actually very beautifully explained in this particular picture. And this is, of course, a technological. This picture where, if you look at this picture, you might wonder whether the tiger is trusting the caretaker or the caretaker is trusting the tiger more. And you might think that while we give our diamonds to the consumer and he closes his eyes and takes it, what is the backup of your trust? That's very important, so that the tiger is still you. Because I think what's changing is the tiger is really becoming the consumer, and he's sort of have all the options, and they know much more than we know about diamonds. So this basis on how you're saying that trust me as a retailer or trust my brand is very important. And here collaborations help, and collaborations will be the answer. So to sum it up, I think everything culminated together. All the future for what we're doing in Forevermark is based on the key insights we got from consumers, and we'll be taking this forward. Our campaign this year begins in August up to December. Thanks to Steven to consider some additional investments for India. It'll be a 360-degree campaign. We're looking at 30,000 spots on television, and all the details of television, newspapers, which you do get to us from us much before in time, will be given to you by IIJS. So please watch out for that, be a part of it. Let's push half carrot, and that's the main subject that we have for the year. We also have an incentive plan for everybody. We're doing it again this year. And this incentive plan opens today for 2 days of your buying. But we understand practical issues, so all deliveries up till 19th of July will be considered in this. Very complicated formula, how we'll derive it. Yeah, so you'll have to have mathematicians with you. No, my friends, it's very simple. So for every inscription that you pay us or pay our partners, which is for diamonds under 50 points, we'll reimburse it back to you in forms of marketing. And for every diamond which you order over 50 points, we'll reimburse twice of that in marketing. So please align with the retail team here. Close your numbers, take this out. Let's get this investment moving, because our purpose is only to grow your business and to grow it together. So let's use this money as best and as much we can. We also give a lot of emphasis to our projects on learning. Last year we announced our project, which was Project Gallup. It is where we took our industry captains for learning and took them to a subject of leadership. And one second, please. So last year we had a first round of people who went along with us to Cambridge. This is something that I'm sure for our partners, it opened up their minds. It opened up the ways, some few learnings they would have probably already implemented in their sphere of lives. Again, it's something that we'll do again as a partner, as a collaborator, as a catalyst into your business. We are doing a lot of e-learning programs. We're working with your managerial staff, your front-end staff. So learning continues to be the main thrust for what we do and will continue to do. We're also relaunching our Forevermark FMX platform. This whole debate that always I see when I go to the floors, the sales staff says, I don't have this diamond, it's not available, and all of that. And this whole mystery about where the diamonds are, and the mystery is completely different when I talk to our suppliers, because they always have the diamonds. So to resolve that, we're relaunching our FMX. It'll be available on iPhones and on Android. Please download these apps today. You will have the entire access of the inventory globally onto your phones by a touch of a button. And of course, it'll bring in the efficiency in the entire business. Stephen has talked about a lot about, what it means to be responsible and how sustainability will pan out in the coming time. He talked about the elephant translocation program and so on and so forth. But I'll only like to focus on the subject of he for she. In the whole pretext of bringing in gender equality, we partner with the United Nations on the he for she initiative. It's something that we need to stand for women folk. Women folk also have to stand for us. And there's a he for she commitment wall that's outside. I urge all of you to please put your commitment for the United Nations and stand behind it. I'll show you a video which showcases the way this whole concept of he for she really is very, very meaningful in our lives. Can I please have the video?
As a girl, I'm expected to be your little princess. As a boy, I'm expected to be your hero. I'm supposed to play with dolls and look pretty. I'm supposed to play sports and act tough.
Right.
Crying makes people think I'm hormonal. Crying makes people think I'm weak. If I spend more time at work than at home, I lack devotion. If I spend more time at home than at work, I lack devotion. People will question my sexuality if I choose to join the army. People will question my sexuality if I choose to be a nurse. I'm expected to define myself as a boy or as a girl.
So I encourage all of you to get out and please make the commitment on the commitment wall that displays outside. And this gets me to the most exciting element of today's forum, and the moment that all of us have been waiting to watch and experience. As a child, one of my most favorite movies was Terminator. And you had Arnold Schwarzenegger who was flexing his muscles, but he was a robot. Yeah, it was a fantasy. But what you see today is not a fantasy. It's real, it's happening now, and a true sense when we say future is now, it's right here, right now. We are very happy to have Sophia amongst us. Sophia is the first humanoid robot in the world. She's the epitome actually of artificial intelligence. She can walk, talk, she can express and have communication with all of us as what we do as humans. And it's great to get a perspective from a robot as to what's happening in our lives and what she feels about humans. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in putting a big round of applause and let's have Sophia onto the stage.